I step into my parents' house for Christmas expecting the usual chaos and laughter. Then I saw my sister's kids tearing around while mine were told to stay home. Here's what happened next and why it ruined my night. It was December and my family was buzzing. The house, the decorations, the smells, the hustle. Christmas at my parents' place was the highlight of the year. We'd fill the rooms with chaos, music, little feet running, and the warmth of being together. I had the perfect gift for my parents, a framed family portrait that would mean the world to them. I had the kids' outfits planned for weeks. My mom always fussed over the little things, making sure the house felt like home. This year would be no different, or so I thought. Then one evening, a text arrived from my mom. Short, direct, and kind of shocking. Keeping it small this year. No grandkids, just the adults, please. Wait, what? No grandkids? My mind tripped over it. This was our rhythm, our heartbeat. How could Christmas even feel like Christmas without them? I asked if something was wrong. Was anyone sick? The response was calm, too calm. Just too much this year. We decided to focus on adult time. No grandkids. No exceptions. No exceptions. Okay, but then, why did my stomach sink? Was there more to it that they weren't saying? I needed to talk to my sister. We were in this together, right? We'd shared the same traditions since we were kids. Her 3, my 2, grown up like cousins and best friends. It felt wrong to imagine the holiday without them. I called her. She picked up, cheerful. You ready for the holidays? Actually, about Mom's text, I said. Did you get one too? A pause. Yeah, I got it. I figured it was just a phase. Maybe they want a quieter year. Who knows? I felt a bit better. No secret conspiracy. But still, something felt off. Why were the grandkids being singled out? My sister had 3 kids too, and they were just as much family as mine. So you're still going? She hesitated. Of course it's Mom and Dad. I'll go. Maybe it'll be nice to have a calm Christmas. Yeah, calm. But would it really feel like Christmas without the noise, the chaos, the laughter I grew up with? As the days counted down, the unease grew. The year had been rough on everyone. Maybe they were just exhausted and wanted to keep it simple. But simple didn't feel right. I couldn't shake it. So, despite the voice in my head telling me to let it go, I decided to show up. Drop by, say hi, see the vibe. Maybe my concerns were overblown. Maybe my parents would remember how much the kids meant the moment they walked in. Christmas Eve arrived. I packed gift for my parents and the kids, told myself it would be fine, and headed over. I could see the lights in the windows and smelled Mom's cooking drifting through the door. My heart lifted. It felt like the holidays were finally here. Then I stepped inside and froze, running around like they owned the place were my sister's kids, laughing, playing, making the kind of lively mess that belongs in a family Christmas. One nearly toppled the Christmas cards on the counter. I stood there, hands still on the door, mind trying to catch up. No grandkids, they said. But here they were, all 3 of my sister's kids, tearing through the house just like always. Mom, my voice shook. What's going on? You said no grandkids this year. She smiled, warm, like nothing was wrong. Oh, it's okay, honey. They're the exception. The words hit hard. The exception. I tried to laugh. What do you mean, the exception? She waved it off, casual. Well, you know, family. They've been so good this year. We thought they deserved to be here. I couldn't believe it. A good behavior exception? My kids, who'd been counting down the days to Christmas, were sitting home while hers got to run wild. This wasn't just unfair. It felt like a slap in the face. My sister walked over, beaming, grabbing a glass of wine. Hey, you made it. Nice, quieter Christmas this year, right? I forced a smile. Yeah. I glanced at her kids, still racing around the living room, jumping on furniture. Then she dropped the line. They were the exception. Mom and Dad made one for us. It'll be nice to have extra cheer. You know how they get with the grandkids. She shrugged like it was perfectly fine, like her kids tearing through a house that no grandkids was supposed to keep calm was normal. I felt tension rising in my chest. I didn't want to ruin the holiday, but I felt betrayed, excluded, left out for no reason other than my kids weren't the exception. In the living room, surrounded by her kids' noise, it felt like the walls were closing in. The laughter was too loud, too much. I looked over at my parents, happily chatting with my sister, oblivious to the storm inside me. I took a deep breath, tried to cool down. Every second felt like a ticking time bomb. I walked over to the table and set down the gifts. My heart wasn't in it. I wanted to scream, demand answers. I didn't want to look like the troublemaker, but I wasn't about to let them ruin my entire holiday either. As I turned to leave, my sister called out, "Hey, sit down. It's been so long since we've had a chance to catch up." Her tone was too sweet, too forced. I could see a smug little smirk on her face, like she knew exactly how I felt. That only made my blood boil. "I think I'll pass," I said quietly. "Not in the mood." She followed me into the hallway, voice sharp now. "Come on, seriously. What's your problem? Mom and Dad are trying to make the best of things. Don't be so dramatic." "Dramatic?" I turned back. "You think I'm being dramatic? How do you explain your kids breaking every rule Mom and Dad said? Mine are home because they don't get an exception." She blinked, caught off guard. "It's not like that. They just decided to change things up this year. Don't make this more than it is." "No," I said, voice rising. "It's exactly what it is. You're special. Your kids are special. They get to play while mine are excluded from everything." The air got thick. The kids' laughter faded into the background. My mom appeared in the hallway, hearing the raised voices. Her face was a mix of confusion and concern. "What's going on?" she asked, trying to play peacemaker. "Mom," I said, not having it. "Tell me why your grandkids are allowed here, but mine aren't. What changed?" She looked startled, clearly not expecting this. "We decided to keep it simple this year," she said, hesitating. "We thought it would be better for everyone." "Better for everyone," I snapped. "Except my kids." It was like a switch flipped. My sister's face twisted. "This isn't about you or your kids. Why do you have to make everything about you? Mom and Dad made their choice. If you can't handle that, maybe you should leave." Her words hit me like a slap. I felt my chest tighten, temper flare. In that moment, it felt like I was the villain, the one causing trouble, the one who didn't belong. "You know what?" I said, voice shaking. "I will leave since apparently I'm the problem." I grabbed my coat off the hook and headed for the exit. My mom reached out. "Wait, honey, don't go. It's just a misunderstanding." I yanked my arm away. "No, it's not a misunderstanding. It's a betrayal. You made a choice, and I'm not part of it." My voice was breaking. I turned to face my sister, arms crossed, smirking like she'd won a victory. "Enjoy your exception," I said coldly. "I'm out." I stepped out, slammed the door, and didn't look back. I didn't care about the gifts. I didn't care about dinner. I didn't care about the holiday. All I could feel was how my parents had chosen her over me and over my kids. The wind cut through my coat as I walked away. Anger, hurt, confusion swirled inside me. My hands were fists by my sides. The street was empty, snow crunching under my boots. The silence felt deafening. My phone buzzed. A text from my mom. "Honey, please come back. Let's talk." I stared at the screen, heart pounding. Talk. They'd made their decision. The text felt hollow, like an afterthought. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Back in my car, I slammed the door and sat there for a moment, gripping the wheel. My hand shook. I could feel tears building, and usually I hold it together, but tonight everything had been wrong, from walking in and seeing her kids to my mom's dismissive excuse. Then my phone buzzed again. Another message from my sister. "You need to get over yourself. It's just Christmas. Get some perspective. If you're going to be this upset, maybe it's better you don't come around anymore." Her words were daggers. She turned it around so fast, made me the villain. I wasn't about to let her twist this. I wasn't going to let her make me feel guilty for standing up for my kids. I didn't respond. I focused on the road, gripping the wheel tighter. How had things gotten this bad? We'd always been close, or at least I thought so. Now everything felt shattered. I turned onto my street. My house looked warm, welcoming, nothing like the cold place I just left. The contrast felt final. I parked, sat there a moment, took in the familiar sight. Home was supposed to be comfort, a place to escape chaos. But now it felt like the only place where I could be myself, angry, hurt, confused. I grabbed my things and went inside, door clicking shut behind me. The quiet was almost soothing, but the weight in my chest didn't lift. I collapsed onto the couch, buried my face in my hands, and let the tears come. My phone buzzed again. Another message from my sister. I hope you realize how much this is affecting everyone. You've made things so awkward. Do you really want to ruin Christmas for everyone? I almost laughed bitterly. She still didn't get it. This wasn't about ruining Christmas. This was about my family breaking something that had always mattered. The moment I needed them to have my back, to stand up for my kids, they turned their backs on me. The longer I sat, the more the situation pressed down on me. My phone buzzed again, but I didn't need to check it. I knew it was another message trying to twist the narrative, paint me as the bad guy. The silence in my home reflected my thoughts. Empty, disconnected, full of unanswered questions. I needed to talk to someone before this consumed me. I scrolled through my contacts. Jess was the first person I thought of. I dialed, waited, tapped impatiently. When she answered, her voice was a lifeline in my chaos. "Hey, what's up? You sound off," she said, instantly picking up on my tone. "I don't even know where to begin," I said, voice thick. "I went to my parents' house for Christmas. Everything was fine at first. Then I saw my sister's kids running around, playing like nothing was wrong. My parents just let it happen. They made an exception for her kids, but not mine." My voice cracked. Tears I'd held back all night finally spilled over. They didn't even care. They didn't even notice how hurt I was. It was like they'd already made their choice, and I wasn't part of it. There was a pause before Jess spoke, voice soft but firm. "That's messed up. You know that, right?" "I know," I whispered, feeling the weight of her words. "It doesn't make sense. Why would they choose her kids over mine?" "I don't know," she said, thoughtful. "But I think they might have forgotten what family's really about. They've given your sister's kids special treatment for so long. They don't even see how wrong it is anymore. Maybe they don't even realize what they're doing to you." Her words hit hard. Maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe they didn't mean to make me feel like this. But that didn't make it hurt less. "It's not just about the kids, is it?" Jess continued. "It's about how they treated you, how they made you feel like you didn't matter, like you didn't belong in your own family." I let out a shaky breath. "Exactly. I feel like I'm being pushed out, like I'm no longer included." Jess was quiet for a moment. "I get it. But listen, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to let them get away with this, or are you going to stand up for yourself and your kids?" The question hit me like a punch. What was I going to do? Could I let this slide? Pretend everything was fine when I knew it wasn't? "I don't know," I said quietly. "I don't want to cause a scene, but I don't want to let them think this is okay." "You don't have to let them walk all over you," Jess said, steady and reassuring. "You have every right to stand up for yourself and your kids. They deserve better than being treated like they're invisible." I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Determination rose in my chest. Maybe it was time to stop pretending everything was fine. Maybe it was time to demand the respect I deserved. What if it makes everything worse? I asked, doubt creeping in. What if they turn on me? What if I lose them forever? "You won't lose them," Jess said confidently. "But if they're going to treat you like this, maybe it's better that you stand up now before it gets any worse. You can't keep letting them get away with it. They need to understand that you're not going to take this lying down." Her words sank in, settled deep. I didn't want to lose my family, but I also didn't want to keep allowing myself to be treated like I didn't matter. I had to draw a line somewhere. "Thanks, Jess," I said, voice stronger now. I needed to hear that. "I just don't know where to start." "You'll figure it out," she said, tone full of warmth. "Just take it one step at a time. And if you need me, I'm here." I hung up feeling a little lighter. It wasn't going to be easy, but I knew I couldn't keep letting this slide. Something had to change. The days after Christmas were suffocating. Every text from my family felt like a reminder they hadn't truly understood what happened. My mom sent me one asking if I was okay, but it felt empty, like she was going through motions, checking off the mom duties without considering the mess she'd created. I couldn't shake the feeling that my sister had somehow won. Her kids were enjoying the holiday, while mine were left out. My parents had made it clear where their loyalty lay, and it wasn't with me or my kids. I spent the next few days in a haze of frustration. Every time I thought about confronting my parents, I hesitated. Could I change anything? Could I make them truly see how much they hurt me? Or was this just the way things would be from now on? The tension between me and my sister grew. Her messages became passive-aggressive, like she was trying to manipulate the situation to make me feel guilty for even questioning my parents' actions. Jabs about how family is supposed to come together, but the underlying tone was the same. "I'm right, you're wrong." I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't keep pretending everything was fine when I knew it wasn't. So I called my mom. The conversation was short, tense, awkward. "Mom, I need to talk about what happened on Christmas," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Oh, honey, please," she replied quickly. "I think we should just forget about it." "It wasn't a big deal." "It was a big deal," I said, trying to make her see how hurtful it was. She deflected, brushing it off like a misunderstanding. At a point, I lost patience. "How can you not see this? How can you act like this doesn't matter?" I nearly shouted. "My kids deserve the same love and respect as my sisters. But you've made it clear they don't." She didn't respond immediately. I could hear her breathing on the other end. For a brief moment, I thought she might finally understand. Instead, she sighed deeply. "I'm not going to argue with you about this. It's Christmas. Just let it go." Her words hit me like a slap. Let it go. As if I could erase what had happened, pretend everything was fine. I hung up feeling the finality of the conversation weighing on me. This wasn't just a disagreement anymore. It was a wall I couldn't tear down. Not with words, not with reasoning, not with anything. Over the next few weeks, the silence between my family and me grew deafening. My mom continued to text occasionally, but the messages were always surface level, like she was trying to avoid confronting the issue. My dad didn't reach out at all. The anger simmered, but I couldn't shake the feeling I had already lost more than the holiday. I had lost my parents' respect and my place in the family. The dynamic had shifted permanently, and I didn't know how to get it back. I stopped going to family gatherings. At first, it was just a couple of weeks, then stretched into months. I couldn't bring myself to sit in that house, surrounded by people who had so easily chosen my sister's kids over mine. My sister, on the other hand, acted like nothing had changed. She posted pictures of her kids with my parents, like they were a happy, perfect little family. I could barely look at those posts, knowing the truth behind the smiles. And then it hit me, the hardest truth of all. This wasn't something that could be fixed with an apology. This wasn't something resolved with a few kind words and a promise to do better next time. It was bigger. It was about love, loyalty, who mattered and who didn't. And I wasn't sure if I could ever truly forgive them for making me feel like I didn't matter. Months passed. I watched from the sidelines as my family continued on without me, pretending everything was okay. But in my heart, I knew it wasn't. And maybe, just maybe, it never would be again. So who's truly at fault? The protagonist's feelings were valid. She was hurt and felt dismissed by her parents. On the other hand, cutting ties completely might have been a step too far. Was it necessary to shut herself off entirely? Or could she have handled it differently? It's easy to judge from the outside, but emotions can cloud our decisions. Was she justified, or did she overreact? What would you have done?